In the fall of 1943, the United States was fully engaged in a global war on two fronts, Western Europe and the Pacific Theater. On October 11th, a significant event happened during a short battle in the skies over New Guinea. A daring pilot with recruiting poster looks, named Neel Ernest Kearby, shot down 6 Japanese fighters in a single engagement and remains to this day one of the nation's all-time leading aces in battle. For his conspicuous gallantry above and beyond the call of duty, Colonel Kearby was awarded the Medal of Honor. Neel Kearby was born in Wichita Falls, Texas, to Dr. and Mrs. J.G. Kearby, Jr. Shown here with his mother Bessie and older brother John Gallatin, Neel grew up in Mineral Wells, Texas. Following a family move to Arlington, Texas, Neel graduated from high school in 1928. As a member of the Cadet Corps, he attended the North Texas Agricultural College, which became the University of Texas at Arlington. In 1937, he received a business degree from the University of Texas in Austin. Permanently honored on the UTA campus for his heroism during the war, Kearby's name is now carried forward by a grandson who lives in Florida.
Well, he was a very well-respected pilot and leader of men. And he was one of the early adopters of the P-47 Thunderbolt.
Kearby, in fact, unofficially rewrote the tactics of the P-47. As leader of the 348th Fighter Group, he recognized early on that the plane's huge engine, 8 .50 caliber machine guns, and tremendous weight made its maneuverability at low altitudes almost non-existent. But those same attributes allowed the plane to operate high above the enemy, more than 30,000 feet, then dive in on them at blistering speed, virtually unseen or heard until it was too late. The exploits of the 348th Fighter Group were detailed in John Stanaway's 1997 book, Kearby's Thunderbolts. That dramatic aerial engagement in October of 1943 occurred as the clouds parted, and Kearby, leading a formation of 4 P-47s, shot down 1 Japanese plane, then spotted far below 12 Japanese bombers escorted by no less than 36 fighters. Kearby and his men were outnumbered 12-1.
My grandfather gave the signal to attack. They went into their dive, and I think he tore through 3 of them pretty quickly.
2 more kills by Kearby followed in the ensuing battle. A 7th kill was witnessed, but since Kearby's gun camera ran out of film, it was not counted. Kearby's importance as a leader and a symbol had increased dramatically with numerous awards he received in addition to the Medal of Honor. His actions in combat had made him a national hero. Chronicled in leading newspapers, magazines, and newsreels of the time, he was also revered by his superior officers, one of whom called him the personification of the perfect combat leader. Actor John Wayne, filming in the Pacific, took time to pose with a smiling Neel Kearby. Lieutenant General George Kenney, mindful of Kearby's newly earned status, asked him to spend more time on the ground. But Kearby wanted to be in the air. He was ambitious, undaunted, and fearless.
He wanted to become the leading ace fighter pilot in history, and his goal was to shoot down 50 planes.
On March 5, 1944, not quite 5 months after earning the Medal of Honor for 6 kills in 1 mission, Kearby took off on yet another sortie, with a total of 21 kills to his credit. In the skies over Wewak, he quickly shot down his 22nd enemy aircraft and went after 1 more. But Kearby's luck had run out. Attacked from behind by a Japanese fighter, Kearby was shot out of the sky and crashed into the jungle below. He was just 32 years old. Neel Kearby was married and the father of 3 young sons when he died. All 3 were too young to remember their father and his heroics as they grew up. By anyone's standards, the Kearby couple made a dashing pair, and he had named his plane Fiery Ginger in honor of his wife, Virginia. An exact replica of his plane and an impressive display of his extraordinary achievements resides in a permanent setting at the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Dayton, Ohio. The actual tail of Kearby's plane, found years after he was shot down, is also showcased. One of the 8 onboard .50 caliber machine guns was recovered from the crash site and is displayed as well. Other public acknowledgments of Colonel Kearby's valor can be found at the Medal of Honor Museum in Charleston Harbor, South Carolina, in 2 locations at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, and at the Pentagon in Washington. In 1959, the U.S. Air Force honored his memory with the dedication of Neel Kearby Hall, at the time a missile training facility at Shepherd Air Force Base. At City Hall in his adopted home of Arlington, Texas, there is a display honoring this highly decorated officer. And of great significance is a Texas State historical marker and statue in the city center, which commemorates the outstanding sacrifices Colonel Kearby made on behalf of a grateful nation. Local government and private individuals raised funds to erect the tribute. Corey Kearby, married and the father of 3 daughters, has become the archivist for the Kearby family. While searching accumulated records, he uncovered an account of his grandfather's Medal of Honor action with an original signature at the bottom, that of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Colonel Kearby's brother, Major John Gallatin Kearby, died in a plane crash just weeks before Neel's previously unprecedented battle over New Guinea. Sadly ironic is the fact that all 3 of Neel Kearby's sons died in aviation accidents while still young men. Almost 5 years after he was shot down, Neel Kearby's remains were located in the New Guinea jungle. Both John and Neel are interred at Hillcrest Memorial Cemetery in Dallas, buried near their parents, Dr. and Mrs. John Gallatin Kearby, Jr. The heroism of Neel Kearby added further distinction to a rich history for the family name in Texas politics. Going back to the late 19th century, Colonel Kearby's great-grandfather, grandfather, and great-uncle each were active and widely known public servants in the state. And his grandson, a willing guardian of the Kearby family history, is among many to recognize that Neel Kearby was once a Texas boy who became a hero and an icon when a nation weary of war needed him most.
He was probably too daring for his own good, but he truly was an American hero.